Hi friends. Today's book is Winnie the Pooh. The friends in the 100-Acre Wood are embarking on an exciting adventure. Pooh is on the search for honey. Christopher Robin has been captured and poor Eeyore lost his tail. Can Pooh and his friends save the day? Let's find out. So this is the picture in the front of the 100-Acre Wood. And this is our cover page or our title page. It is owned, written, and illustrated by Disney Press. Let's find out what happens. One morning, Winnie the Pooh woke up to discover his tumbly was complaining especially loudly. He knew the only way to quiet it was to fill it with lots of delicious honey. Unfortunately, every honey pot he looked in was empty. Pooh wasn't worried. He was certain a walk in the 100-Acre Wood would turn some honey up in no time. On his journey, Pooh passed by his friend Eeyore's house. I can't help noticing, said Pooh, that you seem slightly gloomier than usual. Eeyore, said Pooh as he circled around him. What happened to your tail? What has happened to it? Eeyore wondered. Oh, well, it isn't there, Pooh told him. That explains everything, said Eeyore sadly. Eeyore's friends decided to hold a contest to find the donkey a new tail. The prize would be a lovely pot of golden honey. Pooh gave Eeyore a cuckoo clock, hoping it would be the winning tail, but Eeyore accidentally broke it. The friends tried a great many more things for Eeyore's tail, and a great many more things after that. None of them worked. It's okay, said Eeyore sadly. I'll learn to live without it. A little while later, Pooh stopped by Christopher Robin's house looking for honey. Instead, he found a note. Pooh brought it to Owl. It says, began Owl, gone out. Busy Backson. He looked horrified. Our dear Christopher Robin has been captured by a creature called Backson. It's malicious, ferocious, and worst of all, terribly busy. Al added that Backsons scribbled in library books, stopped clocks, and put holes in socks. The more the friends learned, the more terrified they became. But then Rabbit came up with a very clever plan. They would collect the things that the Backson liked and leave a trail of them to lure it into a pit. Then the Backson would appear, and it would get trapped, and they could get Christopher Robin back. While their friends went to gather the items that were needed, Pooh and Piglet got straight to work on the pit. Piglet disguised the trap as a lovely picnic, complete with a honey pot. Well, it certainly fooled me and my tummy, admitted Pooh. Meanwhile, Tigger had decided to track the Backson on his own. He was surprised to come upon Eeyore, who had somehow gotten left behind by the others. You and me are going to catch that Backson together, Tigger promised. We just need to get you Tiggerized. Tigger started with the easy part, giving Eeyore stripes. Teaching him to bounce was another manner. The donkey bounced up and down, and finally, just up. Eventually, the friends ended up in Rabbit's garden. Tigger dressed up as the Backson and tried to show Eeyore how to bounce the monster. The poor donkey ricocheted over the place before landing in the woods beyond. He hoped Tigger wouldn't find him. Being a Tigger was exhausting. In another part of the wood, Pooh, Piglet, and the rest of the friends were laying the trail of items. Rumble, went Pooh's tummy, unhappy that honey had not yet to come its way that day. Pooh did his best to ignore it, but then something strange happened. Pooh's shadow stopped looking like a Pooh Bear and started looking like a honey pot. Next, the flowers and trees and even the ground beneath Pooh's feet melted into a giant wave of honey. He rode the wave to a honey beach where he swam beneath the honey ocean. Pooh was so blissfully happy that he sang a honey song and danced a honey dance. Life was so sweet. Poof! Pooh's beautiful daydream suddenly disappeared. His honey ocean was really a muddy puddle. Pooh cleaned himself off and then went on his way. After a few steps, he came upon a picnic, complete with a honey pot. Pooh ran to the pot and immediately fell into the pit that he and Piglet had dug the other day. The honey pot wedged itself tightly onto his head. Unfortunately for Pooh and his tummy, it was empty. Meanwhile, Pooh's friends had arrived back at the pit and were looking everywhere for him. Then, all at once, they heard a loud thud. "The plan worked!" Rabbit exclaimed. "We caught the Backson!" The friends clung to each other in fear. "All right, Backson," said Rabbit as the group peered into the pit. "Give Christopher Robin back." "Oh, bother," said Pooh, bumping into the walls. "Pooh?" asked Rabbit. "How are we ever going to get him out of there?" wondered Roo. Just then, Eeyore arrived wearing an anchor for his latest tale. Rabbit instructed his friends to throw the anchor into the pit so Pooh could use it to climb out. "Whoa!" the friends cried. The heavy anchor yanked them all down into the hole, and it knocked the honey pot off Pooh's head. Now they were all stuck. Only Piglet, who had been tossed high into the air, remained above ground. Now it was up to Piglet to save everyone. Roo remembered that Christopher Robin owned a jump rope. The friends urged Piglet to go to the boy's house and get it. A terrified Piglet made his way uncertainly through the wood until he saw a red-eyed monster glaring down at him. The little fellow ran and hid. Then the fog cleared, and Piglet realized the monster was only Balloon, a red balloon stuck in a tree. Piglet tugged and tugged and tugged, trying to free his friend. Suddenly, an enormous shadow fell over him. Piglet turned and faced the monster. "Back, son!" he shouted. He held on tight to Balloon and ran off. But there was no Backson, only Tigger dressed as in his Backson disguise. Now, Tigger thought the Backson was right behind him, and he ran off after his friend for help. "Piglet!" he cried. "He knows my name!" shrieked Piglet. "Help!" Balloon lifted Piglet up and away, but it was a very bumpy ride. Then Piglet spotted the pit in the distance. He thought if he could just reach it and its friends, he would be safe. He had nearly made it when Tigger crashed into him. Down into the pit they both tumbled, along with an entire paragraph of letters. When the dust settled, everyone in the pit was relieved to see that the newcomers were their friends and not the back sun. Just then, Balloon floated up and out of Piglet's grasp. "Wait, Balloon!" called Rabbit. "Don't leave!" "You have to help us get out of here!" Piglet cried. Owl was very happy to be stuck a little while longer. Since his friend couldn't go anywhere, they would have to listen to him tell a very, very long story about his uncle. As Owl talked, a hungry Pooh looked up. He saw the honey pot from Tigger's foot sitting at the edge of the pit. And that's when he decided to use the ladder of letters to climb out. Unfortunately for Pooh, the honey pot was empty too. Fortunately for his friends, there was a way out of the pit. Soon, they were all back above ground where Christopher Robin, led by Balloon, joined them. "How did you escape from the back sun?" asked Rabbit. "Oh, what on earth is a back sun?" said Christopher Robin. "The most wretched creature that you could meet," Owl said solemnly. "And what gave you the idea I was taken by a back sun?" replied Christopher Robin. Pooh handed him the note. Christopher Robin explained that he had written he would be back soon, not back sun. Now that the misunderstanding had been cleared up, Rabbit had an announcement to make. "We owe a very special someone a token of our appreciation," he said. "This reward goes to a good friend who helped us find Christopher Robin, so I bestow this pot of honey on Bloom." "Oh, bother," Pooh said miserably. The friends went on their way. For Pooh, that meant continuing the search for honey, for he and his tummy so desperately wanted. Eventually, he ended up at Owl's front door, where he tugged on the bell pull. There was something very familiar about it. "I found that very handsome bell pull that you were admiring just hanging over there in the thistle bush," Owl said. "Nobody seemed to want it, so I brought it home." Then he invited Pooh in for some honey. Pooh suddenly realized that Owl's bell pull was really Eeyore's tail. Now Owl realized it too. Pooh left without eating so much as a drop of honey. Returning Eeyore's tail was far more important. Soon Eeyore's tail was back where it belonged. "Seems about the right length. Pink bow's a nice touch. Swish is real good too," the donkey acknowledged. And so, Pooh was declared the winner of the tail contest. His friends presented him with the grand prize. It wasn't just a pot of honey. It was an enormous pot of honey. "Thank you all so very much," Pooh said. He climbed straight into the pot. All his honey dreams had come true. And that is the end of our book. So that's that picture at the end, and then our Pooh picture at the end. So thank you for watching this video and following along as I read the book. I hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.